Welcome, dear listeners, to another captivating episode of History with Herodotus. Today we embark on a fascinating journey through the realms of myth and history, as we delve into the legendary tale of the Trojan War. History versus myth. This epic conflict has captivated human imagination for millennia, with its intricate web of heroes, gods, and mortal men. As we venture into the origins of this timeless story, let us first set the stage for our exploration. In the distant past, around 1200 BCE, the eastern shores of the Aegean Sea were ablaze with the splendor of ancient civilizations. The mighty Hittite Empire, with its capital in Hattusa, nestled deep within the Anatolian heartland, stretched its dominion over a vast territory that encompassed modern-day Turkey, Syria, and parts of Lebanon. The Hittites, under the rule of King Muwatalli II, who reigned from 1295 to 1272 BCE, were a major power in the region, with a complex system of governance, diplomacy, and warfare. To the west, the Mycenaean kingdoms of Greece, including Pylos, Sparta, and Mycenae, were rising to prominence, their cities fortified with cyclopean walls, and their palaces adorned with frescoes depicting scenes of mythological creatures and heroic deeds. The Mycenaeans, with their advanced system of writing, known as linear B, were able to record their transactions, laws, and myths, leaving behind a treasure trove of historical artifacts. The historical context of this period is marked by a series of significant events, including the Battle of Kadesh in 1274 BCE, where the Hittites clashed with the Egyptians under Ramses II, and the rise of the Mycenaean kingdom of Pylos, under the leadership of King Nestor. The diplomatic correspondence between the Hittite and Mycenaean kingdoms, as recorded in the Tawaggalawa letter, provides valuable insights into the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized this era. As we delve deeper into the origins of the Trojan War, we encounter a multitude of cities and states, each with their own distinct culture and history. The kingdom of Ahiawa, believed by some to be a reference to the Mycenaeans, plays a significant role in the diplomatic maneuverings of the time, while the city-state of Walusa, identified by many as Troy itself, emerges as a key player in the conflict. The city of Troy, situated on the northwest coast of Anatolia, was a strategic location, controlling the entrance to the Dardanelles and the trade routes between Europe and Asia. The Trojans, under the rule of King Priam, were a powerful and wealthy people, with a rich cultural heritage that included a deep reverence for the gods and goddesses of the Greek pantheon. As we explore the earliest history of the Trojan War, we find ourselves in a world of ancient kingdoms, city-states, and empires, where myth and history blend like the swirling waters of the Scamander River. The seeds of conflict were sown in this fertile ground, as the great powers of the time vied for control, resources, and influence. And so, dear listeners, we have arrived at the threshold of this epic tale, with its complex characters, mythological echoes, and historical reverberations. As we prepare to enter the heart of the Trojan War, history versus myth, let us take a moment to appreciate the rich cultural heritage that has been passed down to us through the centuries. Join me, then, as we venture deeper into the realm of the Trojan War, where the fate of empires hangs in the balance, and the whispers of myth and legend await our discovery. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, dear listeners, as we continue our captivating journey through the realms of myth and history in the Trojan War. History versus the city of Troy, with its strategic location controlling the entrance to the Dardanelles and the trade routes between Europe and Asia, was a prized possession for any empire seeking to expand its influence. The Trojans, under the wise and just rule of King Priam, were a powerful and wealthy people, with a rich cultural heritage that included a deep reverence for the gods and goddesses of the Greek pantheon. However, their prosperity and independence would soon be threatened by the rising power of the Mycenaean kingdoms in Greece. The spark that ignited the flames of war was the abduction of Helen, the Queen of Sparta, by Paris, a prince of Troy. This infamous event, which has been immortalized in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, was not just a simple case of elopement, but a complex web of political intrigue and diplomatic maneuvering. The Mycenaeans, led by King Agamemnon, brother of Menelaus, Helen's husband, saw this as an opportunity to assert their dominance over the region and reclaim their honor. As the war unfolded, the great heroes of Greek mythology took center stage. Achilles, the legendary warrior from Phthia, with his invincible armor and unmatched prowess in battle, became the cornerstone of the Greek army. His rage and grief over the death of his friend Patroclus would drive him to commit acts of unparalleled bravery and ferocity on the battlefield. The Trojan prince Hector, with his unwavering courage and unshakable sense of duty, would emerge as a worthy adversary, leading the defense of his city against the invading forces. The war raged on for 10 long years, with both sides suffering heavy losses and committing atrocities that would be remembered for centuries to come. The siege of Troy, with its clever tactics and ingenious strategies, became a legendary tale in its own right. The Greeks, unable to breach the walls of the city, devised the plan of the Trojan horse, a massive wooden statue hollowed out to conceal a select group of warriors. Under cover of night, these brave men would emerge from the horse and open the gates of the city, allowing their comrades to pour inside and claim victory. The fall of Troy marked the end of an era, as the Mycenaean kingdoms began their decline, and the Hittite Empire started to crumble. The legendary heroes who fought in the war became immortalized in the annals of history, their names etched in the collective memory of humanity. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in human history, we are reminded that even the greatest civilizations must eventually face decline and fall, but their legacy can live on through the stories and myths that they leave behind. And so, dear listeners, we have reached the climax of our journey through the Trojan War. History versus myth. Join me then, as we venture into the twilight of the heroic age, where the whispers of myth and legend await our discovery. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, dear listeners, as we continue our captivating journey through the realms of myth and history in the Trojan War. History versus the fall of Troy marked the beginning of a period of great upheaval and transformation in the ancient Mediterranean. The Mycenaean kingdoms, which had been the dominant power in Greece for centuries, began to decline and eventually collapsed. The Hittite Empire, which had been a major player in the region, also started to crumble, weakened by internal conflicts and external pressures. As these empires declined, new powers began to emerge, such as the Phoenicians and the Assyrians, who would go on to shape the course of human history. The survivors of the war, including the legendary heroes who had fought in it, struggled to come to terms with the devastating consequences of the conflict. Many of them, like Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, faced long and difficult journeys home, where they would have to confront the challenges of rebuilding their lives and reclaiming their thrones. Others, like Aeneas, a Trojan prince, would go on to found new cities and establish new dynasties, which would become the stuff of legend in their own right. The aftermath of the war also saw a significant shift in the cultural and artistic landscape of the ancient world. The epic poems of Homer, such as the Iliad and the Odyssey, which told the story of the Trojan War and its heroes, became incredibly influential, shaping the way that people thought about the past and their place in it. These poems also helped to create a shared sense of identity and culture among the ancient Greeks, who would go on to achieve great things in the fields of philosophy, theater, and the arts. As we reflect on the aftermath of the Trojan War, we are reminded that even the most devastating conflicts can have a profound impact on the course of human history. The war marked the end of an era, but it also paved the way for the emergence of new powers, new ideas, and new artistic and cultural achievements. The legacy of the Trojan War continues to be felt today, with its stories and legends remaining an integral part of our shared cultural heritage. In conclusion, dear listeners, we have reached the end of our journey through the Trojan War, history versus myth. We have explored the origins and historical context of the ancient civilizations involved, the pivotal events that defined this legendary war, and the aftermath of the conflict, as the survivors struggled to rebuild their lives and create new legends in the ashes of the old world. I hope that you have enjoyed this journey with me, and that you will continue to explore the fascinating world of history and myth that we have discovered together. Thank you for joining me on this podcast, and I look forward to sharing more stories and insights with you in the future. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.